Well, this is one episode before our year.
Yes!
Katie, we've made it almost a year?
Yes.
Yes. I just said yes.
Yes. The answer is yes. Yes to all of the above. D.
Do you think that when we started, we looked like Tobey Maguire that didn't work out? And then, like, now we look like Jack Tobey Maguire? Because I do.
Yeah.
The amount of training that we've done to get here is on that level.
A lot of building jumps to get where we are today.
Yeah.
We've had our families threatened and that's not. No, that part's not the same.
Our uncles, everyone's fine.
Yeah, we didn't have any Uncle Bens, thank God. So
thank God. Crazy.
Sisters who've seen it. We are the sisters who've seen it. Sisters, shooby-dooby-doo-wop, sisters, shooby-dooby-doo-wop, sisters, sisters who've seen it.
Hello there.
Hello.
How we doing?
How we doing, listeners? Welcome back. We're swinging on in. Ow.
Pew pew.
Ow.
Those are my webs. Is that, do they make noises? Pew pew.
Your web goes pew pew. Like a gun?
Guess not.
Like an arcade gun? I love that. Welcome back, listeners. I'm going to dive right in and introduce ourselves. So we are the Sisters Who've Seen It, the podcast where two sisters who are not movie critics look back on some of our favorites throughout the years through a psychological, ethical, and familial lens. I'm Katie.
I'm Bridget.
And Spider Pig.
Ooh.
Spider Pig.
Ooh.
Does whatever a Spider Pig does.
Who's Spider Pig?
That's from the Simpsons movie. I think that one bops a little better than, like, the actual Spider-Man song, in my opinion, but... Oh my god, wait, do you remember the song that the one guy in the subway was singing? Because I thought it was funny, but then I didn't write it down. He sings about Spider-Man.
Oh my god.
He's like, looks like a spider, but really is a bug. It was like something like that, and
I
so
did
funny.
not write that down, but
me either.
That's hilarious. He was like, he needed like 3 more beers to be something about Mary singers.
Oh no! He just appears on the top of buildings in the background and sings about Spider-Man. Oh jeez.
And then gets killed in the end by the Green Goblin.
Oh my god.
That'd be fun.
Wait, Bridget, what's our movie this week? We said it 8 times. What is it?
Spider-Man from 2002.
Yo, and don't forget punctuation, y'all.
Ah, yes.
Yes.
Spider-Man.
Would have spelled that wrong, in all honesty.
Honestly, I kind of was confused by that. I was like,
yeah.
Why do we have a dash?
Yeah, like, it's together. It's not like...
Like, Superman doesn't have a dash.
No, or Batman.
So
no.
what's that?
I don't know.
That's weird.
And Wonder Woman has no dash. She just has a space, so I'm all confused.
Jesus Christmas.
Anyway, this is the 2002 Spider-Man, because there's a lot of Spider-Man.
There's a lot. I would call it somewhat the original, because you had, like, the 70s TV shows, but there really wasn't a movie about it, and I read that this took 17 years to make, not necessarily the filming of it, the fighting of the movie rights.
Oh.
To the point that
for this movie?
Yes, to the point that James Cameron was going to do this in the 90s. And it bounced around to all these different movie production studios.
Oh.
And finally, after like 17 years, they were like, okay, can we like make this movie? This is crazy.
That's really funny because there was a lot of like, I don't know what you would call it, but I remember like, because this is Marvel, except when they were doing all the Avengers stuff, they wanted Spider-Man because he, in the comics, was like part of the Avengers. But initially, I guess, I don't know if it was... Because it was like Sony, I think. It was like Sony Pictures, I think, had the rights. So then Marvel, which is Disney, they wanted it and they didn't get it for a while. And then finally when they got it, then they were like, all right, now we're redoing Spider-Man a third time in like literally only 15 years. Because there's been Tobey Maguire and then there was Andrew Garfield.
Yep.
And then now it's Tom Holland.
Mm-hmm.
And literally I've like been alive for all those. And like, what's happening, guys?
I hope you continue to stay alive because because there'll probably be 80 more.
Oh, God. Spiders. Well, I don't know how you felt about this, but I enjoyed this movie.
I liked it. It's a little emotional.
A little. It's a sad story.
It's kind of like, lots of feelies and lots of like, there was more than one traumatic situation. Like it wasn't just about Tobey Maguire overcoming his uncle's death, which in itself could be the whole movie. It was also like James Franco's daddy issues.
Oh my God.
Mary's Jane's daddy/boyfriend issues. And then like love triangles and then like dying ants and then like taking over cities. And you're like, listen, we could just pick one problem because listen, 2002, the world might be fine, but if you fast forward 18 years, it gets wild and we need a breather.
Yeah.
You know? Like, get out of here.
Yeah, definitely a lot happening. So, all right, who wants to do a synopsis?
I'll take a stab.
Okay.
So, first of all, I want to read the sentence I wrote down.
Okay.
The web-spinning spider hero has a mission to save New York from his nemesis, the Green Goblin, and to win the heart of Mary Jane, the girl next door.
Uh-huh.
So I think I'm done. That sounds
okay. Nemesis is a strong...
Yeah.
That's an interesting assumption, but okay.
Okay,
sure.
So I'd say this. We understand in the name Spider-Man what this character is, right? It's like a guy that has spider qualities and he's for good and uses those spider qualities. Okay, fine. I did read some critiques from like Marvel nerds that technically in the original, the Spider-Man has to make this like secret glue to actually have those like web feature. But James Cameron, like back in the 90s, were like, this is ridiculous. He has like spider superpowers. Let's just also have him shoot webs.
Yeah, what?
Right?
Makes more sense.
So you have Tobey Maguire, who is a geek.
Because he wears glasses and he missed the bus onone, so he's a nerd.
My God, I've never seen people be meaner if you miss the bus. Like, nobody wants to get up early.
And the bus driver was like, I'm not stopping for anyone. I was like, what is happening, sir?
2002 is rude.
Yeah.
So you get, okay, he's a nerd and all these sort of things, and he's in love with Mary Jane. And Mary Jane literally is the girl next door, like physically next door to his house.
Yep.
She's also beautiful, whatever. And I'm just kind of annoyed that this movie was like, it all starts with the love interest. And you're like,
I'm not here for the love story, y'all. I'm here to see Spider-Man.
Like, she has a very aggressive red hair dye, like Toby.
It's not natural.
It's
definitely
not. It's intense. So you know this much about him, and he has no parents, and he lives with his aunt and uncle, and, you know, he's just kind of whatever, this wholesome nerd. Okay. So they go to the Science Museum. I'm sure what's the name of it in New York?
I don't think this was a museum they go to because it was like active research on spiders, and I had questions.
Yeah,
watching.
They somehow let a bunch of like high school kids into like top secret spider research.
Oh my God. And they're just like moseying around. Like the one chaperone was kind of there, but then like children were just left to stand. And I was like having like educator anxiety. I'm like, where are the kids? Where are the kids? There's no adults. There's no adults. Who knows what's getting into? And look what happened.
Everyone holds hands.
Everyone holds hands. Yeah.
So somehow in this top secret lab, a spider gets out. Ha ha ha. It was literally like laughing at people chilling above, and it bites Toby.
Yep.
This super spider, because they genetically mutated a spider, gives him these crazy superhero powers. And that's the coolest part of this movie, because you see him start to learn what all his crazy superpowers are. And everyone around him's like, you're being kind of weird. What's happening? Blah, blah, blah. At the same time, we're introduced to what would be his air quote friend, James Franco.
Oh, thanks for including the air quotes.
I wouldn't necessarily say they are friends, but they think they are, and that's its own like issue.
Frenemies,
they're kind of frenemies.
In denial about it. Yeah.
Yeah, you know what? If high schoolers, if you're listening and you got a frenemy, be careful, because their dad could turn into the Green Goblin, and it ain't worth it.
And then that friend, 2 sequels later, will also turn into the second Green Goblin. Goblin, and then you gotta kill him, and that's the worst. So just avoid it.
Stay away, stay away. So with James Franco, who is this super duper duper rich kid who gets kicked out of all these places, and that's how he ends up in this public school with poor geeky Tobey.
Ugh.
Simultaneously, his father, Williem Dafoe, who is incredible.
Oh my God,
in this movie,
him.
He does this role so well.
He's so crazy.
Is trying to protect his company that is making what they would say is a superhuman. So you got super spiders and you got superhumans, and we're all trying to be super. And the truth is, there is no quality control in any of these laboratories because Tobey's getting bit by a spider, and Williem Dafoe has just straight up lost his mind because in fear of losing his company, he decides that even though, technically their version of the FDA didn't approve it, he's going in, he's gonna take it, and he ends up losing his goddamn mind in the process.
Yep.
And so, as part of, this movie, Tobey Maguire starts to become this hero, and he's finding his own with his superpowers, while Williem Dafoe starts to become the evil nemesis. Well, not necessarily nemesis, just kind of evil because he's lost his mind due to this experiment. And then eventually they meet and have a face-off, and they both have to kind of fight each other. And Mary Jane somehow just gets bounced around from man to man to man to man, and she just runs around with her red hair, kissing random people.
Very early 2000s women motivation.
Boring. Literally, I'm sure Kirsten Dunst is those were the only roles we had options to play. And in the end, Spider-Man is victorious, but at the expense of Williem Dafoe dying, which is his frenemy's dad. And it really sets you up for this interesting next path. And we're going to have a big fight about, I really hope you're on the same page with me, about Mary Jane then finally admits she's actually in love with Tobey after all these people. And Tobey decides that, you know what, I don't think I'm into you. Well, he is into her, but he can't because of his friend who lost his dad, who didn't treat him with the same respect.
That's not why he said that.
I think he's being also nice to James Franco.
I think it was because he was if I don't want the people I love to get hurt, so if I have less people I love around me, then they're not going to get hurt, so it would be a way to protect her.
I think it was a combination, though, of also he's at his quote-unquote best friend's funeral for his dad. Yeah. And he's going to, make out with her in the corner in the graveyard.
And they did do that, and, the dead are watching, so careful about that, guys. Ooh.
Okay, then we'll talk about that, but I hated that.
Wait, you forgot an important character who gets...
Oh, the uncle gets killed.
Literally gets murdered.
Oh my God, I forgot about the deep, dark sadness. Right in the beginning, his uncle gets killed, and I'm missing this whole part of him. With great power comes great responsibility, which is what Mose and I tell Penny when we take her off leash at the dog park.
Oh. And then she goes and murders something. So she's going through her own Williem Dafoe story plotline on the DL.
Oh, okay. So yes, we need you fill me in. So I forgot about the biggest part of his uncle dying horrifically.
Yeah, it's sad. But not that I wanted the uncle to die, but I kind of like that because, I don't know, I feel for some other superhero stories, it's either you got no one like that it's happening to, or it kind of happens when they're a kid. So Batman, it's oh, your parents died, but you were a kid. It was kind of different. Whereas this, he's already got the powers, and he is going through this whole kind of I'm so cool, I got powers, I'm gonna make money, and he's kind of being a jerk, and then the uncle's yo, you're being a jerk. And then that's why he says the great power, great responsibility, and then his uncle literally dies because he lets this guy steal money, and that's the guy who shoots the uncle. But then we find out later in Spider-Man 3 that actually it wasn't that guy, and it was some other random guy that we don't meet till Spider-Man 3, and it's in a whole nother forgiveness subplot. So... Anyway.
Wow.
But, it's sad. And I like how it's in there because to me, I was okay, this is why he's going to be a good guy. Because I could see him, I don't know, he was being kind of jerky. I could have seen him turn in the other way.
Wait. Could you see an alternate Spider-Man where his uncle doesn't die and then he just becomes the evil dude?
Well, Bridget, in Spider-Man 3, which I realize this is the third reference to this movie, and I'm so sorry, guys. I really don't like that one as much, but there's just a lot of connections. But in Spider-Man 3, he gets infected with this kind of black stuff, and then he does kind of become an evil Spider-Man, and he's like a jerk, and so he goes through that whole thing again, which I think is why they talk about the uncle more in that one than the second movie. But
Interesting.
Yeah. The third movie sucks, though.
All right, well, I think then we're done.
I'll stop talking
referencing that. Okay, so when we get right into this, it is very cool with the fast title credits. I dig it. It gets right into this is a superhero movie. Put on your cape, get on your stretchies, let's do this.
Wait, and did you see who the composer was with the music? Because I actually didn't know this. I thought this was cool.
No.
It's Danny Elfman.
That makes so much sense.
Yes. That's why when I was listening to it, I was like, wow, this is really good. I like this. And then I was like, Danny Elfman, you son of a Spider-Man. Always there when I need ya.
This is not the same, but I did think you'd like this fun fact. David Koepp, Koepp, was the Jurassic Park screenwriter, and he also did this movie.
So fun.
But I thought you were going to go the Jurassic Park reference, but Batman makes so much sense. I literally wrote, love the Batman-like music.
Yo! It's very good superhero music, though. And
yes.
I especially felt that way in that scene where you see the Green Goblin at the faux Macy's Day Parade, which I cannot wait to talk with you about because that scene was so absurd. But when you see him far away and you hear the din-a-din-a-din-a-din, it's I was like, oh yeah, music, yeah!
Yeah.
Pump it up. I love the Spider-Man.
Yes. I'm with you. Sorry, I'm reading my notes, and then I say we get introduced to Toby, who's a 30-year-old freshman in high school. Sorry.
Sure is, with big glasses. Bus driver does not stop for him, and then MJ's like, I'm so nice, stop the bus. But then she, doesn't be nice to him, really, when he gets on the bus. So he gets, a piece of paper thrown at his face, right when he gets on the bus.
He gets tripped, and somebody literally yells, what a geek! It's we get it. We get it.
Yeah. Everybody felt super cliched.
Really cliched.
All the side people or the bystanders were super extra. I was like, oh my God, you guys, take a chill pill.
In the beginning scenes, he's like, this is a story all about a girl, Mary Jane. Or it pans to some fat guy and he's like, not him. And I'm like, what?
No, he was like, I wish I was that guy. Even him would be fine. You're like, okay.
Oh my God.
But when he starts off his monologue, he goes, you want to hear my story? You sure you want to know? And I'm like, yes!
That's why we're here. We paid for this.
Come on, making it longer. Just tell it.
But
Gosh.
What was nice about this movie is they got right into the, okay, we're going to get him some powers, right away. We don't have to wait for this. Do you know how long we waited with the freaking latest Wonder Woman? Where we were like, oh my
Do
God.
I? People don't forget. Lord. Yeah, they get right into it, and then immediately they go on a field trip to the, as Bridget said, the top secret science lab, which, what class was this? What was the lesson objective? How much money did this cost for us to go? And what are we doing? Also, why wasn't James Franco on the field trip bus? Because he rolls up in the fancy car, and then he goes, Dad, it's so embarrassing to get out of a Rolls Royce car in front of the poor kids. I was like, James Franco, how hard was that to say?
Yeah, I think because he missed the bus, because he's supposed to be this, I don't know, he never gets anything right. He got kicked out of the schools. He forgot his backpack, and Williem Dafoe's like, don't ever be ashamed of who you are. You're like, William, stop it.
The best is then he's like, Harry, you forgot your backpack. And I'm like, why do we have backpacks on a field trip? This is nonsensical. Who wrote this? But then he gets introduced to Peter, and I don't know why these two frenemies, because they're frenemies, they don't know, each other's families, I guess. So
I do not know, but right away, Williem Dafoe's like, Peter, you're way better than my son. And you're like, Jesus, the daddy issues start right away.
My favorite line is where Williem Dafoe goes, I'm something of a scientist myself. And he says it really weird. And then Peter goes, yeah, I've literally wrote a research paper on all your research. And he's like, yes, I've done research. You're like, wait, so what do you mean you're kind of you are a scientist? Why'd you say it weird? Oh my God. He was being weird. And Harry's just sitting there rolling his eyes I'm so embarrassed. Life is hard. Woe is me. Rich white boy problems. Am I right? God.
James Franco. too real.
He's playing himself a little bit to some degree.
Pretty much. And then you start to see the frenemies because clearly Peter loves Mary Jane and James Franco knows that, or Harry knows that, and Harry's like steals a line to flirt with Mary Jane. And I'm like, balls of steel, man. That's freaking rude. That's rude pants.
And then he looks back at Peter like, did you hear that? I was like, you suck. You're the worst.
Well, and his whole reply when Peter's like, really, dude? Why did you have to like go after her later in the movie? He's like, you never made a move. It's like, yeah, but you never like helped him make a mood, friend.
Yeah, not a good wingman.
Like the worst.
And Peter did kind of make a move because then he took pictures of her, which
was a little weird.
They were a little weird, but like, I don't know. Something.
Yeah, he tried. Yeah. And apparently Mary Jane can count because the
oh my god,
researchers like, we have 15 super spiders, and Mary Jane's like, it's actually 14. And I write, how the f*** do they lose a super spider? And it's just chilling on the ceiling.
And also, why the Spider-Man do none of the scientists give a spider that they're missing a spider? The lady's so chill about it. She's like, oh, well, anyway, what's more important is the high school field trip. I'm like, no, I don't think that's true.
I think they took the spider out for a walk. I don't, maybe it's in the back. I don't know.
Getting a bathroom break. Who knows? Yo, and that spider was like, you know, living its best life on the ceiling. And then what? He was like, you know what? I'm going to fuck up this nerd's day because he's got glasses and he works for the newspaper. What a nerd. Better go bite him. Like, I didn't get the spider motivation.
Yeah, I didn't get the spider motivation either. He's just taking pictures. If anything, he's supporting his 14 other buddies.
Yeah.
It's very rude. Everybody was very rude to Peter.
I know. He really got, like, Spider-Man a lot. So, you know, then he gets bit, and what do you do when you get bit by a radioactive mutant spider? You tell no one.
Yeah, you just shake it off and keep moving.
You do. You just go home.
Dude, do you know, in, like, this era, if somebody sued that super spider research lab, he would be way richer than James Franco. Am I right?
Yeah, he could have handled it way better. Oof. But also, this would have never happened if we had better chaperones. / more than one chaperone. I'm just saying, all right? We gotta think prevention and not reaction, okay? So Peter's bit, and he just goes home and naps.
He goes home and says, I'm tired.
Yeah.
And his aunt and uncle are like teenagers, am I right?
Wait, no, his aunt and uncle are talking about how the uncle, like, got fired or something.
Yeah, he lost his job because computers. I'm 68 years old. I'm too old for computers. I was like, you know, in 2002, I understand why you said that, but that sounds stupid later. Like, it sounds stupid in 2020.
Doesn't hold up.
Like, dad knows how to work a computer.
Yeah.
His uncle could figure it out.
But, like, now as an adult rewatching, like, when I see that part, I'm like, oh, what are we gonna do? Y'all have life insurance on Uncle Ben? Because he's about to get murdered in, like, 10 minutes. And, like, Aunt May is at work and she's, like, sitting in the corner knitting all day. So, like, what are we gonna do for income around here? We're Spider-Man!
They're totally screwed.
I don't know, but that wasn't part of the plot anymore.
Well, at the same time, Williem Dafoe is going after the human performance enhancers tests. And the one doctor that gave me real Independence Day doctor vibes, that was like, we should not be doing this. And Williem Dafoe is like, I'm gonna kill you! And you're like, but he's like trying to make sure you don't like lose your mind. But then you do, sir. So
I felt bad for his like partner scientist guy, because that guy was just like trying to be ethical and like do the right thing. And, you know, then he got murdered. So that's great.
He got chucked through a glass wall.
After he literally tried to do like CPR on Williem Dafoe.
Yeah.
And he was like, wait, before we do this, like, why don't I get like a medical person to come help? And he was like, no, we have to do it right now. I was like,
God.
Okay,
he was just too much.
That's your clue. Like, if you got someone being crazy and you're going to give them crazy juice, maybe leave and leave the room.
That's a good point. He did know the side effects. Like, he could have just been like, okay, I'm going to leave now. This isn't going to work.
Yeah, like, why why did he need to be there? I would have been like, okay, I'm just gonna like wait over here and like lock myself in the room with a gun. So have fun. Hope you're good.
Good Lord. Well, I did say at that moment, I go, this seems dramatic. Isn't he already rich?
Yes.
Like, he was so afraid to lose his company. And I'm like, but it seems like you're doing fine. And then Joker-style gas comes up, which gave me some real Batman vibes. He loses his mind. The scientist tries to help him and then immediately gets thrown through the window. And you're like, wow, that's that scene. What in the Lord is happening? Because you don't see the Green Goblin. You just see him being like, you're like, woo!
He's so good at that. Oh my God. Good casting.
And then we switch over to Peter, who wakes up with LASIK and has muscles.
Listen, I don't wear glasses or anything, but I imagine that's pretty nice to wake up to.
Dream. I have glasses and contacts. That'd be a dream.
Yeah, and then he has muscles, which I'm kind of like, do spiders, like, have muscles, though? Like, why is that part of the spider stuff?
Let me tell you, he had more muscles than Bruce Willis in Pulp Fiction, though. Am I right?
Yo, that's pretty true. That's a true story, so.
But he also looked like he was like 90 pounds, and I'm like, oh.
I know. That's why I was like, I think those were always there, Peter. Maybe you just, like, never looked at yourself in the mirror because you're a nerd? I don't know. Like, what do I know? Who knows?
I don't know. But I guess spiders do have muscles.
I don't think they do. The movie wants us to believe that, so it's fine. We'll go along with it. Ew, and then did you see the one part where, like, Aunt May is like, is everything okay? And he's like, everything's great. And he was, like, looking down.
Yeah, he makes a dick joke.
Ugh, inappropriate. I hate that.
I'm like, whoa. A spider bites you and your penis gets bigger?
This is what I'm talking about. Spiders don't have muscles, and they probably have some type of penis, but, like, probably not big because they're spiders. God, that would be so scary if they had that. Oh my God, I would hate that so much.
Oh my God, do you think it's like one of their legs? Sorry.
I have like 8 spiders living in one of my bathrooms right now that I just like, we just coexist because like, whatever, they're just chilling. They don't bug me. And oh, that would be so horrific. Oh.
So he runs for the bus again and somehow his hand sticks to a sign and he decides, I'm not really going to go to school. I'm going to test out these powers. And like, is that scene or am I getting confused?
Well, he does get stuck to the bus, but he still somehow ends up at school, and there's the whole like cafeteria scene, which okay,
was cool.
Do you know the fun fact about the scene?
No, tell me.
Okay, so that scene where like the spider sense, I guess, like kicks in for the first time. He's like sitting and eating, and Mary Jane walks past him, and she slips, and he like knows it's gonna happen, and he turns, and this is all in the frame of the shot. He catches her, and then he catches the tray, and then he catches like 4 things on the tray. That was real.
What?
Like, that was not, there was no CGI, there was no, like, cut editing. Like, that was real. He did all of that for real.
That's cool.
I don't know how many takes it took to get to that, but I know that that shot is legit. Like, he actually did all those things, so.
Well, Tobey Maguire, that is super cool.
I know. I was like, did you actually get bit by a spider? Because, like, what?
Maybe that's crazy.
Mary Jane's reaction to it, though, is so lame. She's like, wow. I was like, Mary Jane! How was the reaction? This was like magic. What's going on? Oh my God. It's crazy.
But he then, her, like, boyfriend at the time, he, like, basically that's how they start a fight because he, like, a tray gets thrown at him because of his spider webs. And it's a whole, he doesn't know what's happening. And then he basically has, like, a high school fight in the middle of, like, the hallway and does, like, the craziest backflips ever. Like, like, it reminded me of, like, the Weeknd music video. I was like, what's happening? Like, he's like upside down and backwards and I don't know.
Wait, did you know that guy's name, the like jerky boyfriend?
I don't, but he was from Magic Mike, right?
What? I didn't know that. That's so funny.
So, who is he?
Well, I don't know what the actor's name is, but the character's name is Flash.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm pretty sure in the comics, he later becomes like a villain. And I was like, this dingaling ain't doing nothing with his life. So I don't think we gotta worry about him anymore because he's pretty dumb in this movie. So I think we're good.
Joe Manganiello. He sounds like somebody we know down the block.
Is that Jimmy's friend?
He was in Magic Mike, and he does...
Oh my god, that's so funny.
Naughtiness, and... Oh my god, his name was Flash. That's hilarious.
Did I ever tell you the dad story with Magic Mike?
Wait, is it that it's one of his favorite movies?
No, one time he rented it on demand because he thought it was about magicians, and then he ended up watching the whole thing anyway. Because he paid for it. So, because I was like, why do we have this? Who bought this? And he did that. He admitted to it.
Oh my god. I just remember him saying he liked it. He's like, there's a good plot to it. It's like, if you get rid of all the dances, it's a pretty good plot.
Paid $5, so we watched the whole thing. Yep.
Oh my god, he's hilarious. So basically then the school is like, Peter's kind of weird, but whatever, he's the nerd, so we all move on, and then he runs out of school.
Yeah. Then he does the power test where, okay, he made his connections to what was going on with him, honestly, way quicker than me, because he, is running in the streets, then he's in an alley, and he literally, looks at the bite on his hand, and then he looks up, and I guess, there's a spider, and then he's like, oh, of course, I'm a spider. And then he literally climbs a wall. And this happens in 5 seconds. And I was like, yeah, not the progression Katie would have had. I think I would have cried in the alley for a little bit. And then I don't know what I don't think I would have figured it out for a while, honestly.
I straight up would have thought it was puberty. I'd be like, wow, puberty? I really hit the lottery here.
Woke up one day and dang, puberty.
Damn.
Yeah.
Must have been doing ab exercises in my sleep for all I know.
He climbs a wall and then he immediately after doing that is jumping from building to building.
Incredible.
And I don't think I would have had the guts to do that. I don't think, because that's scary.
Super scary. And he doesn't even start with a short building and then you see him over the course of weeks. He just jumps off a giant building in New York that you're like, yeah, what?
Sure does. And then he's just flying around. And then he does the web, or he tries to do the web thing, but he can't figure it out. Which is funny. It is a funny scene.
I love that.
Where it's the build up, and then it's
Shazam! Shazam! Up and away, Web!
Oh, I love it.
But this is all when he starts to get wrapped up in his kind of ego, because he's beating up guys at school and he's jumping off buildings and he's late to paint the kitchen with I wrote Grandpa, but it's his uncle.
Bridget! Uncle Ben is not Grandpa!
I mean, he kind of had Grandpa vibes, but
no.
Yeah.
And then there's a scene with Mary Jane. Do you remember that?
Oh my god. They meet each other at the trash cans in the back of their house. What?
And she's like, oh my god, did you hear that screaming? And Peter's like, yeah. And I was like, Peter, call the cops.
For real, she's getting abused by her dad.
This is not normal. Somebody call DCP&P because it's not okay to watch. She is definitely still under 18. She is a child. Somebody help. I'm scared. But no, Peter's just a bystander.
No, Peter then proceeds to tell her how he wants to be a photographer. And she's like, oh, okay, I want to be an actor and actress. And then she runs off with Flash in a car.
Wait, here's my notes about that scene, because they're talking about that. And then I go, Peter weirdly brings up that she was Cinderella in first grade? ? And then I go, LOL at MJ's Cinderella-like transformation to going back to being a shallow girl when Flash drives up with a car. Way to suck, MJ. That's what I wrote.
Damn.
It's such a weak plot point because this is what perpetuates Peter to then try to make money by doing an amateur wrestling night.
Well, in his mind, he was like, I could be Flash if only I had a car because Mary Jane likes guys with cars. Okay.
I'm like, Peter, you literally just learned how to fly. You can fly in the air.
He is the car.
Yeah, you are. So, I'm confused. You just learned that today. Did you forget? It was a couple minutes ago. Okay.
I don't know, but his whole quest on wanting to be a photographer, personally, I think he should go and be an artist artist because his drawing skills were incredible.
That's literally what I said. I was like, wow, good thing he's a very talented artist or his outfit would have looked like
he's like a fashion designer. Like, what?
I know. I would have really loved to see the montage of him like building the suit because
that would have been incredible.
He's like, Aunt May, can you knit for me some pants? And she's like, Peter, why do these have webs on them? He's like, don't worry, Aunt May, nothing. It's just puberty. Oh God.
Oh, I'd love that. That would be a good montage. But he then enters this... Like, you go in to wrestle a professional wrestler that was Randy Savage. Do you know who that is?
Yes, I know it was him, but I think in the movie... Do you think he was supposed to be like a professional guy in the movie? Because I got the sense it was like low-budget wrestling.
Yeah, it was low budget, but like it was like anyone off the street could wrestle who was more of a professional.
Yeah.
And that guy was like literally killing people and breaking their bones.
Yeah, they called him Bonesaw. I was like, do the cops know about this? Because this is a whole thing. Like, something's happening. I don't think Peter signed anything, by the way, so I'm pretty sure everybody in here can sue. Because legally, we got no evidence of consent.
Yeah, and before he goes and does this like weird subplot, his uncle's like, listen, let's have a puberty talk.
Yeah.
You know, I heard you beat up this guy in school, and just because you beat it up doesn't make it right. And with great power comes great responsibility. And then Peter literally was like, "Oh, Uncle, leave me alone."
He's like, "You're not my dad." I'm like, okay. The jumps we made in this conversation give me whiplash because literally Uncle Ben's talking about puberty, which like, okay, fine, that makes sense in context. But what? Then he does the great power comes great responsibility. Can you explain what responsibility I have during puberty?
I mean,
what's
I
my
think he's
responsibility?
talking about your hoo-ha.
So that was like a subverted sex conversation where he's like, honestly, Peter, your responsibility is to wrap it up.
Wrap it up.
Don't make me a kind of grandpa.
With boners comes responsibility.
With boners comes great condoms. Buy them at CVS. Okay, they don't cost a lot. Wear them all the time. Yeah, I just felt like I liked the line, but I didn't feel like it fit very well in that conversation.
And then don't worry, because as we go into wrestling, we get hit with the most random actor ever, who is...
Well, there's two, but I think you're thinking of Octavia Spencer. Oh my God, I love this. I think was like one of her first movie roles.
Oh my God. Literally, I bet you everybody's like, oh yeah, that Octavia, whatever. She was just some like extra person. You're like, no, she's gonna go on and be the great power with great responsibility because that's what she does. She took it serious. You did it, Toby. You did not.
I love that cameo. But there is another one that I don't know if you would know. So the announcer guy in the wrestling, whatever.
Yeah.
He had glasses on, so it was hard to tell. But that was Bruce Campbell. And I don't know if you know who he is, but he was in the horror movies Evil Dead. And he is like a very like iconic campy actor.
You know why he's in this movie?
Because the director Sam Raimi directed Evil Dead. Yep.
You got it. You got it.
But I was like, Bruce Campbell's so fun.
Who technically coins the name Spider-Man.
Yeah, thank God, because Peter's name was like the word. What was, I didn't even write it down.
No, we don't remember because it was so bad.
Yeah. And then Peter's like, he got my name wrong. I was like, Peter.
Oh my God, he was so annoying.
Come on, get it together. My God.
So he goes and eventually wins the match, which everyone's like, oh, well, that's surprising. And he goes to collect his winnings. And, you know, like every New York back alley shady deal, the owner's like, here's $100, kid. Get out of here. And it's like, that's not true. I owe you gotta give me $3,000, blah, 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 blah. And then this is what literally changes his fate for his uncle's life. I'm sorry, what?
This is why, Peter, you learned a valuable lesson about signing things that you read, because you didn't sign anything, so you can't hold it in court, Peter. Okay? Get those receipts. All right?
Okay.
I'm just saying, his whole vendetta about it, like, I understand, like, we'd all be annoyed about it, but also, like, did you do the right steps to cover your butt? I don't think you did. So you're a little at fault as well, Peter.
Which, to be honest, like, what is he, 15, 16? 16. Those are the lessons you learn then.
I think he's like 18. I think he's like a senior in high school because then they like graduate.
Oh.
They graduate like the next day or some nonsense because they're like, wow, we miss Uncle Ben. He just died last scene. I'm like, okay, this is a lot. But,
oh, Lord.
Yeah, so the owner's getting robbed and then Peter like holds the door or some nonsense for the robber. I was like, okay, Peter, that's a little extra.
He was very sassy. He was like, oh, he stole your money? I'll hold the door open for him. And then he finds out, as his uncle is dying, that he's going to literally, in like his revenge, anger, roid rage, goes and tries to take this person out and learns later it's the same robber.
Yes, and he also, literally in this revenge adrenaline rush, learns how to use the web to do the flying, because he really didn't like figure that out, but you know.
That was cool.
The power of anger!
Oh my god, one of my favorite scenes, which gave me some real Batman vibes, because do you remember when Batman did the like ridiculous butterfly like yoga pose?
People don't forget! With the scalloped cape, oh god.
Peter literally upside down, like does a Spider-Man yoga pose, and I was like, this is amazing!
I know, I love that too, because he goes down, and then he's like, they like reverse the film or something. It's so funny.
It was
oh my god.
Perfect. And then Aunt May's like, what in the world?
She's like, who's gonna be the breadwinner? Not me, so
oh
we're
my
Spider-Man.
Lord. And simultaneously, Williem Dafoe is totally leaning into his crazy and has completely escalated.
Yeah, when does he... I think it's later where he, like, kills all the military people.
I don't know, but I just want to tell you that, like, okay, we get boring stuff like Flash and MJ break up, and, like, Peter's missing his uncle, and, like, he starts to really, like, dig into his Spider-Man. But I need to ask someone, where did he get his new suit?
like what store did he buy it from?
Your face was so confused.
Not what I was expecting you to ask.
The wrestler, like, he had the really, like, terrible wrestler outfit where you're like, yes, Peter, you're not a fashion designer.
Oh my god,
so, like,
Bridget, you mean the Spider-Man suit. Oh my god, Bridget, you referenced MJ and Flash breaking up, which was at graduation, so I thought you meant his, like, fancy graduation suit, and I was like, he got it from Macy's? Question mark?
Hugo Boss.
Oh my god. Okay, yes, now that I'm on the same page, yes, I don't know. Again, did he just give Aunt May some, like, side projects to, like,
oh my god,
process her grief? Because, like, I don't know, that's a pretty cool suit.
I don't know, but he looks so cool, and I love him protecting people and flying, and the CGI holds up, I think.
Yeah, I think it does too.
It's 2002, so, like, I'm not being tough, but it was pretty cool. I mean...
And they had a lot of, you could tell, like, practical stunts where, like, they would have, like, a real explosion sometimes, and, like, the part where MJ's gonna, like, almost fall off a building, like, that was, like, somewhat real. They, like, built something for that, you know? So, yeah, it didn't look bad, in my opinion.
But we get to the newsroom because...
thank God.
We have another crazy lead role who is...
J.K. Simmons.
J.K. Simmons, but Kate, did you see the cop supporting J.K. Simmons?
I know, it was oh god, what's his name? Eddie? Was his name Eddie in the movie? It's Sister Act?
It was the Sister Act cop, and all I wrote is, where's Dolores?
Like, how many times are we gonna reference Sister Act in our episodes? Every time, everyone, because Sister Act is everywhere and everything.
And then we have another famous secretary cameo by...
Elizabeth Banks.
Like... This movie is packed with, like, celebs.
I don't know. It's like people probably wanted to be in a movie like this because it was somewhat different than what you're used to at the time.
Yeah.
But J.K. Simmons, that was another, like, perfect casting.
He was perfect.
Like, amazing.
Yep.
I just love him in all his roles. Except in Whiplash when he gave me PTSD for something I've never gone through. I don't know how he did that, but, like, he did that. And, like, I love him, but I hate him, you know?
Yes, I do know. And his whole shtick was, listen, the Spider-Man's doing things. I don't know about him. I'm a news person, so I don't know if he's good. I don't know if he's bad. But you know what? I gotta get some pictures of him. And then this is why Peter is somehow involved in all of this, because Peter is like, I can get a picture of him. I want to be a photographer. Ooh, it's me. And so we're like, okay, this is this subplot. And he simultaneously goes through like another emotional turmoil where Williem Dafoe is like, listen, they're not all gonna like you. You're gonna learn this hard lesson that I had to learn, kid. And like, this is, I think, the whole purpose of the newspaper is they start to then be like, is Spider-Man really good? I don't know. And Peter's like, but it's me. And Elizabeth Banks is like, collect your check and get out of here.
Yeah. And like when he gets that job, it's like, whatever, they graduate high school, and then Peter and his frenemy Harry are like, we don't have any other friends, I guess, so let's move in together, because Harry's rich and he's paying for all of it. But then Peter also, within there, finds out that MJ and Harry are dating.
Weird.
And that's stupid. And then MJ's like, don't tell Harry I work at a diner. So embarrassing. I'm like, why doesn't he know where you work? What do you mean? Where does he think you go?
Like, literally, James Franco doesn't know anything about the people closest to him. His dad is turning into an evil villain. His girlfriend is a waitress that hides it from him. And his roommate, Peter, is Spider-Man. He has no idea what's happening, and I don't even think he has a job. What does he do all day?
I don't know. Are you in college? But then we never talk about college. So I was like, I guess you just, I don't know what you do. You're just sometimes there being annoying. So that's great.
He's really annoying in this movie. And he's weird to MJ. And so all this is going on, and I just want to tell you that in the scene where I believe it's like Williem Dafoe comes, the like blow up scene, there's a famous singer from 2002.
Oh, I know it.
What? Who is this cameo, Kate?
Macy Gray!
Yes, Spider-Man, yes.
With her iconic glasses and her iconic, like, hunching over performance.
Where has she been?
She was in Scary Movie 3.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Drink every time she says it.
People don't forget. I did not remember her in this movie. I thought that was so funny.
At the same time all of this is going down, we kind of do a little flashback-ish scene with Williem Dafoe where he is, I think he should have, like, I don't know if he won an award for this, but he's facing the mirror and he's kind of flipping back and forth between like him not losing his mind to him losing his mind, and it was some of the best acting I've ever seen in like these types of movies.
That was such a good scene. But this whole like event or some nonsense is literally like the day after his board of directors, they're like, hey, we're kicking you out of the company and we're selling it. Bye. And he's like, wait, but it's my name. And they're like, anyway, we voted. It's unanimous. Except for you. Anyway, it's unanimous. And you're like, that's not unanimous though. Like, what are you talking about? Like, but Bridget, I don't know business. So like,
to me, it was weak. It was weak because like he should have made some calls against the board of directors that they could get like mad or something. Nothing. We just see these like weird faces show up and just be evil for no reason. And that's not really how that works.
That's so interesting.
But this really fuels him to be like, okay, I'm about to just lose it on all y'all because I don't have a job. And so now I'm just going to like kill you all, literally. And
he goes to like they're like, we're having a Unity Festival. And they got blow up float balloons that then don't move and just kind of hang out. Or like, who's holding those? Like,
I don't know.
Are there people just holding those? Like, this sucks.
Idea.
We're not on the move. Macy Gray's like, I'm just singing songs. I don't know what's going on. I'm
Spider-Man.
Oh, okay, I need to look it up right now. I wonder if she's on the soundtrack, because I would die.
God, it's so good.
I would die.
But this was really, really cool because the cinematography of Williem Dafoe, like, flying far away, and people are like, what is that? What is that? What is that? And then he just comes up and just shoots at everybody. You're like, whoa!
Yo, but tell you, the music in this scene was
great.
Really good. And everyone's like, who is that? And then they're like, yay, it's a fun presentation. And I wrote in my notes, I was like, it's Turbo Time.
Oh, that's bad turbo time.
Yeah, but then everybody turned into skeletons. So those were bad CGI skeletons, by the way. But the writer, or one of the writers, I should say, of the Spider-Man comic, Stan Lee, makes an appearance in this scene. Did you catch
Saves
that?
a little girl.
Yeah, I was like, oh, Stan Lee, thank God you're here. Because, like, everyone's abandoning their children. Like that little boy who was literally standing in an open area, and then some lady's like, that's my kid! Oh no! Oh jeez! And the Spider-Man's like, move, what are you doing? What's wrong with you?
I kind of love that, literally. Peter was like, move kid, move kid. Oh my God, I'll get him.
So annoying. He's got to save children. He's got to save Mary Jane. I don't know if Macy Gray made it out okay, but God, I hope so, because, geez.
We're just gonna hope for the best with her.
Yeah.
I hope that she just, like, slipped out the back and was like, this is nuts. I'm not singing at this gig again. He saves Mary Jane, and this is when she starts to, like, fall in love with Spider-Man, because he just keeps saving her.
Yep.
And Williem Dafoe didn't really realize Spider-Man was too much in the picture, and I think this is when he was like, oh, this guy, like, can challenge me. Like, whoa, I gotta, like, figure out what to do with him. And this is why Nemesis isn't the right word, because he doesn't start off being like, I hate that Spider-Man. He starts off like, no, I hate all these people that made me leave the company that has my name on it, and I want to go murder all of them, and Spider-Man's just, like, in the way. So get out of here.
But then part of me is like, all right, but then you, like, already murdered everyone. Like, everyone that, like, wronged him up until this point in the movie is, like, dead. So, like, now what?
Yes, so, like, you're still rich.
Yeah, I was, like, a little confused with the motivation, because then he goes to the newsroom, and Peter is, like, sitting at the office with J.K. Simmons, and they're talking about, like, I guess the Spider-Man pictures or whatever. And then literally, the Green Goblin explodes through the wall. He attacks J.K. Simmons, and he's like, who takes the Spider-Man pictures? And J.K. Simmons is a cool dude, and he does not blow Peter Parker's cover. He's like, I don't know, it's anonymous. And he lies for him, and that's why he's a cool character.
Yep.
And then that's when Peter gets, like, he gets, like, gassed or something.
I'm sorry, but if I am a crazy evil villain, the Green Goblin, and I get Spider-Man, and I make this, like, pitch, team up with me, and we'll, like, be superhumans together, I'm not ripping off his mask to find out who it is. Get out of here.
Yeah, right. That's what I thought.
Get
I was
out
like,
of here.
You had a chance. Also, like, what's our motivation? Because, like, I feel like all our revenge is fulfilled. Is there more revenge?
Yeah.
Like, are you mad at, like, someone who, like, didn't give you the correct change from, like, last week? Like, what's going on? I just, like, I'm not really sure what we're doing here. Like, why do we need to team up?
But I think because he was literally insane, this is why he, like, almost didn't even need a reason.
I guess.
He was just going crazier and crazier. But it was cool that they didn't know who they were. And so, oh my God, this movie is, like, kind of long and complicated.
Well, next is he somehow, like, sees Mary Jane.
He stalks her at an audition. He's like, I just happened to be here, but took 6 buses to get here, and I'm also not your boyfriend, but I love you. And MJ's like, what? Okay,
but good thing he was there, because don't worry, we have opportunistic rapists hanging out, just waiting for any old lady to walk on by. And I'm like, okay, this is, guys, like, this isn't New York. Like, I'm confused. So
I don't think it
then
is
he,
either.
you know, saves her from rapists. And then she's like, wow, I have a superhero stalker, and, like, giggles. And I'm like, haha, that's scary. Of all the types of people to stalk me, I do not want a superhero stalking me. That is a little scary.
No. What was our big stalker movie? Something About Mary. You don't want it, and you want to pick Brett Favre. You don't want it.
Imagine if Ben Stiller had superpowers.
Oh, God.
That would have been horrific. That's a horror movie, right? Yeah.
He is the Green Goblin. Oh, my God. So she then is, like, in love with Spider-Man. And honestly, I feel like this was the upside down kiss. The iconic upside down kiss.
It was fine.
That's annoying. And then I write James Franco rolls up in a turtleneck.
Yes! I wrote that too. I was like, James Franco looking really suspicious delicious in his outfit right now. So he looked like a supervillain. I was like, we're not hiding anything with this.
Somehow, how does Williem Dafoe go after Aunt May? Like, why?
Well, there's a whole scene where there's a fire. Like, literally, we go from making out with Mary Jane, life is great, to, wow, people are horrifically getting smoke inhalation and almost dying in a fire.
That's right.
So Spider-Man, this was a Bob scene for me. Spider-Man rolls up, and I guess, like, there's people all brought out, and then there's, again, like, the extras in this movie are, like, pardon the pun, they're extra, and the lady's like, my baby's in there! My baby!
My baby!
Somebody says the baby! And I was like, what? Why did you leave your baby inside, you Like, either one, you left the building without it, or two, you left your baby inside alone. Both of those are not okay. Somebody call DCP&P again. Okay. So then Spider-Man rolls up, and she's like, oh my god, Spider-Man, save my baby! And then Spider-Man, he's standing there, and a cop runs over, and he goes, hey, arrest that man! And he's like, talking about Spider-Man.
Oh my god, that's right.
Then Spider-Man and the cop look up at the burning building. Again, this is taking like a couple seconds, so this baby's like dead. And then Spider-Man looks at the cop, and the cop goes, like, very seriously, he's like, I'll be here when you get back. And then Spider-Man's like, I won't be back. And the cop's like, And I was like, are you guys dating? Because, like, I think I skipped a scene. I don't understand what is going on right now. Like, there's a baby dying, and you guys are, like, doing pillow talk on the street.
The cop, like, pulls off his mask, and it's Mary Jane, and she's like... She winks at him.
The cop and Spider-Man do an upside-down kiss in front of the lady, being like, but my baby is burning.
But that was all a, like, coy for Williem Dafoe to get him. But I don't know how Aunt May... I'm trying to figure out...
Because, so then he saves the baby, and then there's more screaming, and then, like, oops, there's another lady in there, but it's not a lady, it's the Green Goblin, and they have a fight, and Spider-Man gets a cut on his arm, and then he leaves, and then literally from this, like, it's not just me exaggerating, like, literally from this, they go to the same place in their normal people lives for Thanksgiving dinner.
That's right.
And then that's when Williem Dafoe sees he's got the cut on the arm. Oof. And he makes the connection like, oh my god, Peter Parker is Spider-Man.
Okay.
I gotta go.
That's right. And that was like every Thanksgiving we've all been a part of, which is like...
which is where someone is being really scary with knives, and I hate it.
Someone was scary with knives. Someone like worked their butt off to cook it and no one appreciated it. Someone thought they were being quiet in another room and was talking about the person in the room that everyone heard. We've all been there. And then there was a breakup, and then there's like someone that secretly wants to be in love with someone else that isn't. And then we had the cut, and Williem Dafoe was like, I have to go. Peter has a cut. It's Peter Parker.
Yep. It's fine, everyone, because we got stuff to do, like attacking Aunt May as she is praying.
It's some poltergeist.
Spider-Man! She's praying over a framed photo of her dead husband that's not propped up like a photo, it's laying flat on the bed like she cuddles with it at night.
I mean, I'm not gonna judge, Kate, but I am gonna judge the Green Goblin, because he should have waited till that was done.
Oh, God.
Okay, so then that's what brings Mary Jane to the hospital, and then Aunt May is like being shady, listening to their conversation, pretending she's sleeping, and they talk about like how they like love each other, and it was weird.
I realize now this is actually where I wrote, nice, menacing black turtleneck, Harry, because he's wearing that scary outfit as he walks into the hospital, and that's where he walks in on Peter and MJ holding hands, talking about their love of Spider-Man. Also, MJ is like, confessing her love about Spider-Man. Okay, that's weird, but like, fine, we'll accept it. And then Peter goes, oh yeah, I know Spider-Man. And instead of her like being a normal person being like, what the F? How do you know him? She goes, has he said anything about me? I was like, who wrote this character?
God, I know. I hated it. I was like,
oh my God, so dumb.
That was bad.
Yeah. But this is what leads to then, I guess, Harry goes and to his dad about like, well, MJ and Peter like each other, I think. And the dad's like, new motivation. Thank God, because I was running out of things to be crazy about. Now I can kill MJ. And then that's what he decides to do. He decides to try and kill her to get back at Peter. So
that was crazy town.
Lord almighty.
Which really escalated because every other, like, bad scene was him, like, shooting a gun or they were in a building. He took this to the next level and, like, made an ethics equation on the side of a giant bridge with 10 to 15 children and MJ, and I kept thinking, wow, he's got a lot of time on his hands.
Well, and I was also like, yo, Green Goblin, what would you have done if there weren't a group of little Boy Scouts not having a weird nighttime field trip at the harbor?
So many weird field trips.
And when MJ wakes up and she's on that construction equipment, I was like, yeah, I think I would have rolled off in my sleep and died. So I don't think that plan would have worked if it was me. Personally, I toss and turn.
That's like they were like, okay, Spider-Man's done fights. We need like a big epic fight scene. So it was good. It was like a good fight scene, but...
Okay, but before you get there, do you remember the Bob, I'm gonna call them Bob characters in this part.
Oh, they just start throwing stuff at the Green Goblin?
Well, yes, that's one set where they're like throwing fruit at him.
That is the most unbelievable New York thing ever, because people being like, yeah, New Yorkers are gonna like really like fight the guy that's like killing kids, and I'm just gonna tell you right now, they all would be walking across the bridge to go to their dinner reservation. Nobody would give a shit about anything that's happening. They would just keep moving.
Yeah, so that was one, but there was also like a Spider-Man boat or something.
Yes.
So literally Spider-Man is hanging from the web. He's holding Mary Jane and he's holding the cable car of the children. And as he's doing that, it cuts to this boat that's like so slowly, like far in the distance, rolling up, and they go, "Ahoy there! We'll pull up and help." And I was like, what the Spider? And then they're like, we're still there. And then it cuts back to them, like, later on, where it was two guys. And I was like, yo, is this me and Bridget? Because, like, these guys are, like, so chill. They're like, we're just gonna, like, watch how this plays out. And, like, one of them was like, uh-oh, I hope they're okay. And the other one's like, he'll be fine. And, like, that was it. I was like, why are you guys getting screen time? What's happening? Oh, no. It was so funny.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
There was a lot happening in that scene, but everyone's saved except for Spider-Man and the Green Goblin. Then just go have their last epic fight scene, like, alone in this... Where were we? Were we in, like, a recycling center? Like, I don't know what was happening.
It almost looked like an old church steeple, but then I don't know what it was. But this is where Peter finally finds out who the Green Goblin is, because he didn't know who it was. And he's like, Peter, it's me, Mr. Osborn. You know, that guy who's been acting crazy and scary, and I threatened everyone with knives at Thanksgiving. It's me. I'm a victim. I was like, I don't know. You didn't sell it well.
He didn't sell it well. He should have tried harder.
Yeah.
But he ends up doing a whoopsie-doopsie and kills himself. The irony.
Sure does.
Ugh.
And then I did not get teary-eyed at the Green Goblin dying, but I got a little teary-eyed where I guess, like, the Green Goblin was talking about, like, oh, it's like, we're like family. I'm like your father. Like, he says something like that. And then Peter goes, my dad was my Uncle Ben, or something like that. And I was like, oh. And then that's when Mr. Osborn dies, so.
Wow.
And then he goes, don't tell Harry. And I was like, wow, we all hate Harry because he's not allowed to know anything. So,
dude, Harry has no idea what's happening in his own life.
No.
It is bad. Oh, man. But at the same time, the only thing Harry knows is that he hates Spider-Man, and Spider-Man will pay one day because he found out Spider-Man killed his dad.
He'll pay in Spider-Man 3! Whoops, I referenced it again. Take a sip.
Okay, but this is when we go, the final really scene where he's in the funeral, and you think that when Mary Jane confesses her love for Peter, you think that Peter's like, I can't have anyone close to me ever, because then they'll die?
Yes.
I mean... But, like, the person that he was afraid of is gone.
Well, no, but then, you know, who knows in the future? Like, I think that was, like, for him, he never had thought of it that way until there was a situation where the bad guy found out her and him had a connection, and then they tried to use it against him and put her in danger, whereas, like, even though she was also in danger, like, 8 other times, those weren't, like, pre-planned. But, like, now he's worried, like, it will be pre-planned.
But why couldn't he also just say, like, Mary Jane, here's the deal. I'm Spider-Man, and if you're close to me, you'll die. Like, what's wrong with that?
I'm pretty sure in the second movie, like, right away, that's exactly what happens.
Oh, thank God.
Because they do, like, date at some point.
Okay. Well, I'll tell you this, we left no stone unturned with this movie. This was a long, plot-filled, lots of different stories movie, and my head hurts. I think I have a headache from trying to keep track.
Okay. Well, I would watch this movie if you guys have not seen it. I would check it out.
Watch
if
it.
you like
It's
if you like
interesting.
superhero movies. It's very like early 2000s campy, but not in a way that ruins it.
Personally, I kind of feel the same way I felt before watching it, which is it's so cool to see him get the superpowers. The shots are awesome of him like flying around New York and fighting things. The love interest, his uncle, I mean, you could skip it. You could fast forward and just go to the other cool parts.
True story.
Wow.
So I was at Mom and Dad's house watching this movie in a public area, and Dad walked by, and oh my God, now I have to find the exact part. There was like
do you have a quote from him?
Well, I don't have him saying the quote, but I can tell you the quote.
Yeah!
So, the mirror scene where Williem Dafoe is talking to himself, his evil self, and whatever, and he's doing that. So, Dad walks through to go out the front door, and then he kind of pauses, and then he, like, is turned, and he's watching the scene for a while, and it's like, we should kill Spider-Man, we'll kill them all. And then he's like, no, can't kill Spider-Man. Yes, we should kill him. And literally it goes on for, like, whatever, like, a couple minutes. And then Dad turns around, and he goes, all right. And then he leaves.
Stupid.
And then after, he was like, what's your next movie? I was like, Dad, that's the next movie. I was watching it. Like, I don't just watch Spider-Man for fun in the middle of a Sunday.
This
and
is
he was
homework,
like,
Dad.
And he was like, oh, I don't know that movie. He's like, I only like that Batman.
Oh,
and I was
my
like, okay.
God.
And then he goes, oh, Superman. Have you done Superman yet? I don't think so. You gotta get on the Superman movie. And I was like, all right, Dad, I'll add it to the list. So that's what we got.
I love it.
Well, Bridge.
Here we go. The big one.
Bridget's time. This is the big one. We have gone through 53 episodes. And even though there's 52 weeks in a year and it was really, 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 really hard for us to do the math, somehow we decided our 1 year episode is actually going to be episode 54 because it lines up with the dates better.
Yes.
I don't know either. Was it a leap year this year? How did we get here?
I have no idea.
I don't know.
Literally, we're Tobey Maguire post-workout. We're tired. We have no idea what happened. Just keep listening to us, guys. Write us a review. We're tired.
Oh, God. Okay, so next week is our 1 year anniversary. This is a big one, and it is technically my turn to pick a movie, but let's be honest. Sorry, let's be honest. It's not, there's no lesbians in this movie, I don't think.
What?
Actually, there might be.
Maybe.
Anyway, okay, this is definitely a movie that in my heart of hearts, I really believe you yourself probably would have picked anyway to be our 1 year episode because we have referenced it so many times. And if you have been a longtime listener of Sisters Who've Seen It, I think you'll start to see a theme that we kind of do have a preference for some sequels. We sometimes feel certain sequels outweigh the original, and this is one of those movies. And, I mean, I don't even know if I need the build-up. I mean, it's a 1994 movie.
Ooh!
Rated PG.
Ooh!
We've already done the original, and this is the sequel, and this is the best of all of them. Quack.
Quack.
Quack. Quack. Quack. Quack. We're doing D2, The Mighty Ducks.
Everybody get your Bash Brother on. Get your Bash Brother on. Yeah.
People,
Fulton
don't forget
gets
the
a
Bash
friend.
Brothers.
Oh
my
Cat
God.
Gaffney. Stop.
Also, Kenan Thompson is in this movie, so that's amazing.
Oh my God, Kenan
People
Thompson.
don't forget. He does the knuckle puck, doesn't he?
Puck, baby. Oh
So
my
good.
God, this movie is so perfect. I can't. First of all, I haven't seen it in so long, but everything in my brain is it's perfect.
I'm pretty sure the last time we watched it, you and I peer pressured Mary into watching it, and that was not that long ago, and like we would just randomly start quacking at Mary, and she'd be like, hey guys, so I have a question, and then we'd be like, quack, quack, quack. She's like, oh, okay, I guess I'll just wait for that to be done.
We literally thought we were doing like a big sister moment. Like, you have to watch this movie. This is so important. Like, she's the TikTok generation. She couldn't care less about Mighty Ducks 2.
Yeah, so that will be a repeat of this episode.
Oh my god.
It is so good. Gordon Bombay, and I don't think, is Hans in this movie?
Where did Hans is?
I don't think
Ghost
so.
Vampire Hans here?
Oh my god, I don't think he is. Woo! Thank God.
We're celebrating 54 weeks. It's our 1 year. We're celebrating Emilio twice. We're celebrating Goldberg twice. We're celebrating hockey twice. We're celebrating how boring Minnesota is, and therefore we go to other locations. Let's do this, people. Let's do this. We watch the movies so you don't have to, or inspire you to do it. We're gonna crush this one like a goddamn Keenan knuckle puck.
Wow. That was an Oscar-worthy speech.
Sorry,
I love that.
I was excited.
I love that so much. That's
okay,
amazing.
I'm gonna go away now like Mary Jane.
Okay, well, don't leave yet.
Oh,
Let's
okay.
finish up. But yes, I'm super excited for this movie. It's gonna be amazing. And Bridge,
Yeah. Oh.
I just gotta say, if you had a frenemy from high school who was a jerk to you all the time and had no redeeming qualities, and his dad was clearly a supervillain, and he wears scary turtlenecks, and he said, hey, move into an apartment with me, I would rip up the lease so you couldn't do that.
You would just move in with me instead?
Yeah, definitely.
Kate, I just want to tell you that if you started to fall in love with a superhero that had spider-like powers, and you started following it all over the city and smooching in alleys upside down,
oh jeez,
I'd tell you the truth is it's Peter Parker, and don't make a big deal out of it, okay? It's Peter Parker. So
he's a nerd, don't forget.
just it's not that big of a deal. It's fine.
Oh my god.
We did the super. It was super duper. Spider super. Super spider? Spider super.
Uh-huh. And listeners, if you also thought it was super spider super duper, you should write us a review.
Ooh.
We love reviews. We love written reviews. You can review us on Apple Podcasts. And we also have a website, sisterswho'seenit.com. If you go to our website, you can scroll down on the main page and there is a form you can fill out to request a movie. So if my unintentional subliminal messages about Spider-Man 3 really got you going and you really want us to do that,
okay,
you can request that. I kind of don't want you to, but I'm just making a reference if you want to. Okay.
We're going to get back into our list after this 1 year too. So
yes, we are.
Get on the list, folks.
Yes, we are. So get on it now because it's somewhat long because we've kind of been holding off a little to do that, but then we're going to jump right back in. And Bridge, what else can they do on our website?
They could buy us coffee. We have a Ko-Fi site. It's on our website. It's on our Instagram link tree. Go there, give us some coffee. I mean, we've been doing this for a year, and sometimes you just need a little caffeine to support you, and that's what you'd be doing, and we'd so appreciate it.
Listeners, we're so excited that we've hit 1 year, and now that the summer is kind of starting up, we have a lot of ideas that we would like to pursue and do, and some of those ideas require a little startup money, and it would be nice to get some support with that. So
that's true.
If you symbolically buy us coffee or give a donation, you do also get a shout out. We've had a couple shout outs given so far on the podcast, and that could be you, listeners. You're on the episode forever. Just like I was going to say just like a Spider-Man web, but that's not correct. Those disappear.
They blow away a lot.
Yeah, they do. Okay, so how about just like, oh god, the next thing I thought it was worse. I was going to say just like Uncle Ben's tombstone.
What the world? Moving on. You'll be with us forever and ever like the Mighty Ducks 2 love affair. So, folks, Katie's done for the night.
All right. Listeners, make sure you join us next week for our 1 year episode. I guarantee you it's going to be a little ridiculous, but in a good way, because
I can't wait.
You know us. We get a little rowdy.
It's going to be amazing.
We're going to be celebrating. It's going to be a good time.
Come celebrate with us. And
woo!
Quack. Quack.
Quack. Quack.
Spider-Man. Spider-Man. Ooh, ooh, ooh.
Ooh. Little duck Spider-Man crossover. Oh my.
Did she? What? All right, listeners, we love you. Katie, I love you.
I love you, and we'll see y'all next week for 1 year! Woo! Hoo! 1 year for D2, the Mighty Ducks.
Jesus Christ. See you then. Bye-bye.
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 Love you.
Bye-bye. Love you. Bye-bye.
Thanks for tuning in to Sisters Who've Seen It. You can listen to us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you listen to podcasts. Check out our website at sisterswho'veseenit.com, where you can email us, request movies to be reviewed, and keep up to date with all things sisters. Also, make sure to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. See you next week.